What if you could change the course of history? What would you do? Now that's a question to ponder over, isn't it? But for Rutger and Rick, it wasn't just a hypothetical question. Let me introduce you to these two intriguing characters. Rutger and Rick, the heart and soul of the Dutch hardcore punk band Hengel, were known to shake things up. Not just with their music, but with their out-of-the-box thinking. Their stage was not limited to rock venues and festivals. You could find them creating a ruckus at bar mitzvahs too. Yes, you heard it right, bar mitzvahs. Now what if I told you these two punk rockers had an idea? An idea so outrageous it could potentially rewrite history. You see, they decided to invent a time machine. Yes, a time machine, and no, they didn't want to go back in time to kill Hitler, as popular opinion might suggest. Their plan was different. Their plan was to kidnap him as a baby and raise him differently. But how does one build a time machine? Well, for Rick and Rutger, it came in the form of a smartwatch. Using their punk rock ethos of DIY, they built this time-traveling device, not in a secret lab or a high-tech workshop, but in their band's garage, amidst guitar riffs and drum beats. Now, with their time machine ready, they had to prepare for their monumental journey. You might imagine them packing weapons or maps or perhaps survival gear. But no, all they packed was a bag of weed. Yes, a bag of weed, because why not? After all, they were still punk rockers at heart. And so, with a smartwatch and a bag of weed, they set their course for April 20th, 1889, Braunau am Inn. A journey that would take them back in time to a small town in Austria, and to a baby who would grow up to be one of history's most notorious figures. But would they succeed in their audacious plan? Well, that's a story for another time. In the quiet Austrian town, a historic event was about to unfold, one that would change the course of history. As the clock struck midnight, Rutger and Rick were tucked away in the shadows, their eyes fixated on the hospital. They had travelled through the fabric of time for this moment, the birth of a child who would grow to be a dictator. Yet they were there not to eliminate him, but to kidnap him, to rewrite his story, and in turn, the narrative of the world. The labour was long and arduous, as Adolf Hitler was welcomed into the world. The newborn's cries echoed through the hospital, an eerie foreshadowing of the voice that would one day command millions. But that voice was silenced for now, as the unsuspecting nurse carried the infant to a separate room for cleaning. Seizing their opportunity, Rutger and Rick made their move. With swift precision, they subdued the nurse before she could raise an alarm. The baby was scooped up gently, his innocent eyes staring back at his unusual saviours. The ticking of their smartwatches seemed louder than ever as they activated the time travel feature, disappearing from the scene just as quickly as they had appeared. Their next destination was the Netherlands, a land of peace and tranquility. As they crossed the border, the baby Hitler let out a coo, almost as if he was acknowledging his new home. Nestled in the town of Nieuw-Vennep, Rutger and Rick began their extraordinary task of raising Adolf. They were determined to provide him with a nurturing environment, one filled with love and compassion. A stark contrast to the harsh upbringing he would have had that might have led him down a path of destruction. Their time-travelling escapades had given them an upper hand, a wealth of knowledge from the future. They used this to their advantage, amassing fortunes and securing a comfortable life for their new family. And thus, Adolf Hitler, the baby who was destined to become a dictator, began a new life in the peaceful town of Nieuw-Vennep. A life that was about to challenge everything we knew about the man he could have become. In a different time and place, Adolf Hitler was growing up not as a future dictator, but as a beloved member of a large, unconventional family. This was not the Austria he was born into, but a peaceful town in the Netherlands, Nieuw-Vennep, where he was raised by Rutger and Rick, the punk rock time travelers. Adolf found himself in a family that was as unique as the circumstances of his arrival. Rutger and Rick, despite their unconventional lifestyle, proved to be doting and loving fathers. They showered Adolf and their other children with an abundance of love and attention. This was a stark contrast to the harsh upbringing he would have had in another timeline. In this new reality, Adolf was not the outcast, but the cherished eldest brother, He was the one his siblings looked up to, the one who helped with homework, the one who bandaged scraped knees. He was a shoulder to lean on, a beacon of strength and support for his younger siblings. His caring nature and kind heart were evident, a testament to the nurturing environment in which he was raised. Rutger and Rick, armed with knowledge of the future, used their insights to amass a fortune. They bought vast lands in New Vennep, near Aberness, and built a grand mansion. It was a paradise for children, a place filled with laughter and joy. The siblings played catch in the fields, drove automobiles, and built huts. The mansion was more than just a house. It was a symbol of the life Rutger and Rick had created, a life of peace and harmony far removed from the chaos of the world outside. In this alternate timeline, Adolf Hitler, the man who was destined to be a symbol of hatred and destruction, was instead a beacon of love and kindness. He was a local hero, known not for inciting war, but for his helpful nature and his unwavering dedication to his family and community. He was a testament to the power of nurture over nature, of love over hatred. Adolf, who was once destined to bring about war and destruction, was now a local hero, known for his kindness and helpfulness. When the war broke out in 1914, Adolf felt the need to help, but his fathers had other plans. Rutger and Rick persuaded Adolf to use his talents where they were needed most, at home rebuilding a nation. In the flurry of post-war recovery, Adolf found his calling in politics. He joined the Communist Party in 1919, his charisma and genuine compassion for the people catapulting him to popularity. His vision of a fair society, coupled with his skills, soon caught the attention of the USSR. Together they embarked on an ambitious project to reshape the world. They envisioned a world where peace was not just a dream but a reality, where equality was not an ideal but a norm, where freedom was not a privilege but a right. And so they worked tirelessly, transforming not only their own countries but influencing the global stage. Adolf Hitler, once a potential dictator, was now a beloved hero, championing peace, equality and freedom.
Ik wil ook beginnen met steunen met liefst zodat hij die vandaag gaat open bezingen. Wil een tijdmachine.